Time to finally raid her desk.
Archer is halfway across the room in a flash before freezing in place, eyes locked on the armchair sitting in the corner. I follow his glance and Patrick pulls his gun as quickly as he can with one hand. What must have been 20-something-year-old before he was turned into a horrible mockery of a human is almost swallowed by the huge armchair. I grab Patrick's gun hand, pushing it toward the floor. Hey, mister? Archer takes a step towards him and I jump, gripping his arm. I won't let him blast another poor soul. Archer turns towards me, contemplating his armor with a raised elbow.
Emma.
I let go, taking a step back. I'm sorry, just please don't kill that guy. Instead of shooting a blast, Archer waves his hand in front of the boy's face. He doesn't react.
That dude's a goner. I'd be doing him a favor if I ended his pathetic existence, but sure.
He closes the gap to the desk instead.
Alas, it's not like he's a threat like that.
After one more glance at the man in the armchair, I drop my backpack on the floor, turning towards the bookshelves while rotating my shoulders to relax the muscles. Wait. The profile. I dig through my pants pocket, pulling out the slightly crumpled piece of paper. Two of those people were advertising whatever this is.
It's a QR code.
No shit. Why does he think I'm stupid? I pull out my phone, scanning the code. It takes me to a social media profile. Valerie Glantz. Patrick chuckles.
Sure, you play on your phone for a while. I suggest we keep digging through this office instead.
Patrick's words turn to a senseless drone as I scan the profile. It must be important. Else, why are the townspeople so adamant on sharing it? Didn't you say you were attacked by a woman? Alright, let's look at this profile here for a sec. Age, wouldn't you like to know? School, been there, done that, lame. Message, welcome to my fabulous profile. Like, share, and bask in the glory. Okay then. A similar picture shows eerie similarities with everyone else in the city. Smooth skin, symmetrical features, and not a wrinkle on her face. But she doesn't appear empty.
I believe I called her a brat mainly, but yes.
Archer leans over to check my screen before nodding.
Yep, that's the one. Fake as fuck with obnoxious pink hair.
I scroll further down her profile. Looks like she's dating someone from... I stare at the man in the armchair.
Yep, say hi to Basti apparently.
It's horrible. Even in a picture of them kissing, his eyes stare off into the distance in mindless satisfaction. Why would she be with one of these zombies?
Maybe she couldn't get a proper man, so she took advantage of the low-hanging fruit. How old is she?
He stretches to glance at the woman on my screen.
20? 25? It's hard to tell underneath all that plastic surgery or whatnot. She was probably embarrassed not to have landed a man yet.
Maybe. Archer regards Patrick with raised eyebrows before shrugging.
Maybe it's a power move, and she simply likes having a puppet to push around.
Yeah. Or she was lonely. However, she does seem to have an unhealthy obsession with... How do you call this? She posts several times a day detailing just how perfect her life is. Look, shut down the shopping mall to keep the plebs out while I'm enjoying myself. Hashtag perfect life. She keeps using that tag, so maybe Patrick is onto something. Maybe a relationship is part of what she considers a perfect life. But then, why does someone who barely counts as a human? Is it all for show?
One thing's for certain, she's about as insecure as you are, Emma.
My confusion must have shown.
Come on, it's impossible to miss the way you die a little inside each time Patrick brushes you off.
He grins.
God knows why you care.
Well, it's because it matters.
No worries. Your buddy is carrying his own baggage. Aren't we all?
Patrick scowls at him. I suppose so. Really, this profile is sad. Is this what those preachers call perfection?
This is great. You may have found a good point of attack. If we can shake her enough to lose control of her monsters, we can take her out easily.
That's a dirty strategy, striking at people's insecurities. But considering what this person did,
If we get rid of her shield of eldritch creatures, I'll blast her to hell, no issue. She's much less experienced a warlock as I am, so there won't be any issues, as long as it's a somewhat fair fight.
Or I put a bullet through her head like a sensible person.
right, if she doesn't shield herself. Although this is a far cry from a fair trial. Now all we need to do is find her. The sky, I scan the books, history, architecture, agriculture. These aren't Valerie's books, are they? Patrick has taken on the other side of the wall, listlessly wandering along the shelves.
Well, this is a colossal waste of time. She doesn't even have enough of a personality to replace the previous owner's books.
Maybe that's what it looks like to your honey eyes.
He drops a notebook that he fished out of one of the desk drawers and pulled a book off the shelf.
An introduction to cleansing rituals. This has no business being in this town.
The book lands on the desk with a heavy thud. Meanwhile, I grab the notebook.
With the power of the ocean. Yeah. No. All of these are confiscated.
What makes you think I'll let you steal magical tomes?
Oh no.
Steal?
Usually we'd be burning these books. It's a shame. Considering the knowledge they hold, and I have saved the odd book for strictly theoretical personal study before. Let's drop it, Patrick. For a moment I expect Patrick to challenge Arthur to another fight. Then he deflates.
Whatever.
That's what I thought.
Arthur drops 2 more books down the stack. Why can't he leave Patrick be? They're adamant about not going along, aren't they? No matter the cost. And poor Basti sits between it all, occasionally switching up which one of us he's vacantly staring at. I open the book, halting at the first words.
Dear Diary.
Jackpot. It's a diary. I know it's inappropriate, but I'll read it for any kind of hint towards this woman's whereabouts. Basti man stares at me. Or both men stare at me.
Yeah. Horribly inappropriate. Anyway, I think I found the book that she used to make her contact, so I'll read up on that.
The tomb in his hands read, as close as you can get, conceptual spaces.
Why are new warlocks this shit at keeping their stuff secret?
I skimmed the first page of the diary. Looks like Valerie started writing when she was still in school.
That a-hole cut my hair! Telling the whole class I finally had a defining feature.
Good old high school bullying.
Mom had a meltdown. She can't stand having her artwork ruined.
There's a lot to unpack here, isn't there? But it won't help me locate her. I flip the page. To my relief, the entries are fairly spaced out, detailing what she must have been doing on important days of her life. Oh, that's a lot of the same thing. A lot of Sebastian didn't know my name. Next page is filled with sing a sentence repeated over and over again. I blink, glancing over to Basti, who is still placidly relaxing in his armchair. Could he? Heat burns my eyes as I quickly flip the page.
At least the storm left me a cool place to hide during recess. There's no way Christina would crawl into a hole in the ground.
While this may be enlightening, it's still far too old to be relevant. I skip several pages, reaching more current events.
These dreams are amazing. I wish I could draw what I see. But it's too weird.
Here we go. If this doesn't sound like first contact with the Eldritch, then I don't know what does. Marie was the same when we stumbled upon our first occult book. 2 pages further and I've gotten to the meat of the matter.
The mall is perfect. Christina and her friends will be out shopping tomorrow. So, it'll also be the perfect time. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
She must have been where she forged her pact, potentially summoning those monsters into this town for the first time. The ink in this entry changes halfway through. She must have continued after everything went down.
How could it have gone more perfectly? My scrying didn't tell me that Basti would be with them. Diary, I hope you remember Basti. He's a bit confused right now, because the Flawless already works on him a little. But he'll be fine soon. He'll be perfect.
This is not okay. Bile rises in my throat and I keep turning the pages, skipping a detailed document of Basti's descent to, well, whatever he is now.
I found a perfect specimen. The Flawless had no effect on him whatsoever.
Here she goes again with this Flawless. Is that what she calls those paper monsters?
And what's even more important, he's a warlock. If he's been doing this a bit longer than me, maybe he could have a look at Mom and Dad once he calms down. He was pretty. At least Basti gave me a hug when I told him. He's so perfect.
Mind if I grab us some more of those muffins?
Patrick's question comes out of nowhere and I blink. Right. Patrick and Archer are both still here with me. We'll find Valerie and force her to return everyone to normal, if that's possible in the first place. That's a good idea, considering we'll seek out a huge fight. If we can find Valerie, yes, we should make sure we're well nourished. A nod turning the final page in the diary. Enough of Basti. We need to find Valerie and we need to stop her. All the tools needed are right here. All the ones available anyway. This is the last entry. We must have barely missed her.
I lost my perfect specimen. The Flawless have already repaired his cell, but they can't fill the hole his disappearance has left in my plans. Basti smiled and gave me a hug. Doesn't he get it? I lost the basis of a new humanity. I can't replace him. I can't bear to look at the others. Why did all of them have to be so flawed?
Muffin?
Muffin? Patrick holds out a muffin and I take it, setting down the diary. Thanks. You want one too, Mr. Perfect Specimen? Or will you get lavender poisoning?
Very funny.
Archer looks up from his book.
What's with the nickname?
Did I overstep my bounds? I'm getting too comfortable with him. He'll get irritated with me like Patrick, except Patrick won't blow up people's heads from irritation. I shake my head. Focus on the facts. It's Valerie. She locked you up because her creatures couldn't remove any flaws from you. He closing the book.
I'll have a muffin. And Valerie is stupid.
I grab another muffin and toss it over. Patrick tenses as if I'm throwing around raw eggs, but relaxes when Archer catches it.
Don't throw food. It's unladylike.
Sexist. Archer ignores his outburst.
It's because it says perfection on the tin doesn't mean the stuff's perfect. Eldritch creatures don't get perfection. Not our sense of it, at least. Usually, the way this turns out is they latch onto the nearest person's idea of the concept and go off of that.
He shrugs.
Just stop thinking about your own flaws and you're golden.
Right. Just stop thinking about my own flaws. I'll do that then. So anyway, I found some relevant locations we could check. There's this hideout near Valerie's old school where she used to hide from her bullies. I'm not sure if it's still around. Then there's the mall where she forged her pact. That one is probably super important to her. And lastly, something's up with her parents. Maybe she's at her old home looking after them. If they're like the rest of the townspeople. How would I feel had I effectively turned my parents into zombies?
Thanks.
All that lavender finally getting to you? Patrick chuckles at my joke. What's with the sudden lack of hostility?
Feeding your ally poison muffins. Shame on you, Emma.
Oh, fuck. Patrick walks towards the door.
The mall, school, or her home, you say?
Arthur is retching, trying to hack up the muffin. I thought the amount of lavender was fine. Also, it's not supposed to be poisonous to warlocks, is it?
The only reason I didn't punish you for following me like a lovesick puppy was because you somehow managed to woo that warlock. Didn't expect you to be that cheap, to be honest.
What?
This time, take a hint, and don't follow a guy when he ditches you.
He strides towards the door and I jump up, taking a few steps after him. The lavender isn't poisonous, but would Patrick have the time necessary to mess with my muffins? He did put them away earlier, and he pulled them out of my backpack just now while both Archer and I were reading.
Anticolium
Archer chokes out a single word.
from pharmacy.
How does he know what the antidote to use? He can't have guessed the poison based on its effects, can he?
Run.